Tough talk. We're gonna hit some home truths.
Is that the intro you're going with? Yeah.
Just trying them out.
Right.
We need an intro though, don't we?
We'll have a little vote. So who thinks that? Who's listening now? Who thinks that is going to be a selling point to listen to this podcast?
Talk coming at you with the home truths. I mean, it's slightly different.
That was a different key.
Bit flatter.
Yeah.
What? Have you got one?
No, I haven't got one, so I can't really come back with that. Tough talk. Talking tough. The London gangster voice.
Is that gangster?
Tough talk.
Oh, we got
Yeah,
a bit more London. A bit more like Ross Kemp now.
Yeah, okay, we'll go with that.
But
or you could have the, you could have a proper like Arnie Terminator type voice. You can do one, are you? Good impression.
No, you've said it.
I don't know.
Come on, go for it. Come on,
Can't do it, honey.
You go.
You can do a good American.
Yeah, but that's more like a reindeer.
Cowboy.
Cowboy. I mean, reindeer doesn't make sense unless you've seen our old hit videos, but... What,
Anyway.
Well, no, come on. You've got to give... I think your Arnie impression needs to be heard now.
I'm just chucking out ideas. I actually cannot...
Follow through. An idea... Don't follow through. But I mean, like... Come on, you can't... It's like... That's like just, not committing to something. That's not like you. We've talked about this, Rob. If you do something, you commit. Arnie.
Blank. Gone blank. It's only 2 words. You can't really make a sentence.
You can go. It is the Tough Talk radio station. It's podcast, yeah.
Boom, done it. There you go.
Don't know if that's appealing to the majority of our clientele or listeners.
It's out there now, so on with the show.
Can't take it back. I mean, big thing for us today, I think, which I like, and it's something we're going to talk about today's mindset. But I think when we got called the Chuckle Brothers earlier, how'd that make you feel?
I mean, we haven't even got moustaches.
Well, you
don't walk around with a ladder going to me to you. We were in Liverpool though, so they were scouts.
Were they?
Yeah.
To me too. It kind of makes more sense, yeah.
Or were they? Were they? Am I making that up?
I don't know, but I was like, yeah, to me too, and I thought that would be right.
Yeah.
That is my best Scouse accent. I thought we were a bit more out on the deck because we had the whole left side, right side thing going on.
That makes more sense. They're more successful. Let's go with Ant Deck.
I'm sticking with Ant Deck. And there's one slightly shorter and taller one, isn't there?
Yep.
Mind you, Chuckle Brothers is the same thing.
Yep, same. It's
Isn't
a common thing going on there, really.
Yeah, it must be, I don't know. Something. I feel like I've got a bit of or I've got it. Bring back Arnie again.
I know where you're going to go.
You know where I'm going, don't you? Twins.
Yeah.
You're DeVito, obviously. I'm Arnie. I'm talking my tough talk. Agreed?
I think you're more Arnie when he's pregnant. What's that one? You've been bulking over the winter.
Yeah, pregnant's harsh.
Power belly going on, so...
Oh.
Name that film, because I can't remember it.
No, I'm not speaking to you anymore, DeVito. You've gone progressive. That's too far. Pregnant. Anyway, we didn't let it upset us, right?
No.
But I think that's where we're going to... Is that going to be our, smooth link into this mindset?
Yeah. Don't let things get you down.
Yeah.
Just off the shoulder, brush it off.
Getting called pregnant, Arnie.
Yeah.
Take it on chin.
Take it on chin.
We I think the big thing for me was February now, right? 1 month's down. We've hit, a lot of people have hit that really hard part of their first massive journey in January. And there will be a fair old drop off at this point, right?
Yeah, you're making the commitment to New Year's resolution or whatever it may be that you've decided to do, and 4 weeks in, things start, 2 weeks in, whatever, you're into it, your mind's fresh. 4 weeks in, things start to slow down and you're getting bored almost.
And I think massively is when you're on Facebook, your Instagram account, and Sandra's on there, woo! I've dropped a stone in 4 weeks. on this such and such diet. And it's like, always Sandra, innit?
Always Sandra.
Anyway, but and she's dropped a stone, and you're like, oh, God, I've been training so hard, and I've been, eating well, and Sandra's dropped a stone and I haven't. And you let other people's, so-called perfect results affect you.
But then on that, do you see Sandra for the rest of the year, or where does she end up?
Sandra's not actually real, Rob.
Well, I know, hypothetically.
Oh, hypothetically, okay, so...
Obviously.
Well...
We don't know her, Sandra, so... She always comes up as the sort of example, but yeah. And also, is she just showing you the good bits on Instagram of her weight loss?
Of her weight loss?
Reduced belly or whatever.
Not just show us the good bits. But
you don't know what age Sandra is also.
Well, this is...
When they hit a certain point, obviously things are starting to slow down in the metabolism. So.
I'm so glad you went with slow down the metabolism after they hit a certain age, because I don't know where you're going with that. But you're no, it's a fact. Our metabolism's all
and
slowed
you try
down.
And compare people to maybe who are younger than you.
But the big thing is, say with Sandra, is so she may be on some fad diet, right? And you're like, she's dropped all this weight. But as you said, how many times has Sandra done this? You see her every year in January drop a stone. Now, if she's been doing that for the last 5 years, she's dropped 5 stone if she's maintained that. And she started off probably at 10 stone. She's 5 stone Sandra now. It doesn't happen, does it?
No.
So, why do we think, or why do we feel almost upset when we see this? Because people do. I know, women do feel upset, and guys feel upset as well. Don't get me wrong. How many times have you looked at matey with a 6-pack, probably oiled up at some point in some photo booth, and you've been a bit like, do you know what? That guy's ripped. I should be ripped. He's done that in 4 weeks.
Yeah, 6-week shred or whatever they call it.
We know that's not happened. Majority of the time,
he's done a 6-week shred, but he's been in great shape before he did that, and he's not like that all year round either. So he's taken some good photos when he's at his peak, and you see those all year round. But actually, off season or whatever you call it, when he's doing his other training and eating regime, that he's actually in an average shape, probably better than most, I guess, if he's well trained and stuff. But it's not going to be completely ripped. It's not naturally how people walk around.
No, and actually...
It's the same with people, like that, like Sandra or whatever. She'll probably be, for the most of the year, if she's on a fad diet, probably gaining that weight and more back.
Yeah, and that's it. It's almost like she's then gone back into sort of actually going back to her not so happy state as such, because she tends to make these decisions because she's unhappy with something. And what we find is we go for that really fast result, and then we post about that. But I've got to be honest with you, I don't think I can ever say I've seen the post, OMG, my normal diet, I've gained 6 pounds. It's not something people post, but the reality is their normal behaviour is that. And then if someone's, not that they'd ever justify it with, oh yeah, but you only live once, sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the cycle they go through. It's okay, I'm massively dieting down intensely, and I'm going to tell everyone that I'm amazing, and actually I'm probably feeling pretty rubbish. And then you've got the other extreme where it's I'm happy though, I'm happy. And it's I kind of, without being rude, I want to call them out and be like, you're probably not happy, because otherwise you wouldn't be smashing that fad diet for 6 weeks or whatever it is in the beginning of January. So I think it's a big thing mindset-wise for us to be thinking about really where people are at and what's really long-term. And actually, should we let other people's, amazing results, whatever it is, so-called amazing results, affect us? Or should we be focusing kind of on our own thing?
Yeah, I think you've got to have your own plan in mind and just not sort of get derailed by what other people are putting out there and posting, and almost making you jealous of where they're at. they may be in a completely different situation, or just showing you sort of the highlight reel, as it were, from what they're achieving.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, with the guy who's got the, rippling six-pack abs and stuff, he's putting it out there about the fact that, yeah, great, he's, probably feeling quite good now, but he didn't show you about the fact that he's now been that complete social...
Hermit.
We're not being funny, hermit, that's a good way of putting it, because I was going to come out with something else. And that they had to, not go out and with his mates, and had to not have a drink ever, and got to be the guy who's like, you know what, I can't have that because of this, and I've brought my own, lunchbox of greens and chicken, because the reality is some of these guys, I can speak from experience, have pretty miserable times. Like I honestly was at a point, I remember, because it was around my birthday, and I was probably 4 weeks out from the show that I did. One of my proud moments being in pants and wearing fake tan. But it was my birthday at the beginning of May, and on my birthday weekend I stayed in, and honestly didn't see. Well, it happens. But I was at home, and I stayed in. And I remember Sue went to Ireland, and I genuinely spent a day in by myself because I felt rough, and I knew that if I went out, people would be having a drink, or social events was so tough because eating out anywhere was just not possible, almost, really, because I didn't have that flexibility to be eating whatever else, and nobody wants to sit there and watch other people eat. Crikey, I can definitely tell you that for sure. So I think when you're looking at these posts, how do we accept them for what they are? I mean, what would your advice be to someone who sees that, Rob? Like,
first off, just get off your phone. Just don't look at them. If you know that you scroll Facebook, and when you come off that from 5-10 minutes, whatever, how long you're on there, you feel worse because of what you've read, just delete the app from your phone. Don't do it. Just get off don't actually put yourself into that position to start with. However, if it's part of you, maybe you use it for your job or whatever it may be, or you just like reading some things and learning a bit about stuff on Facebook, whatever, from videos, and you happen to see things that it winds you up, possibly just go down the route of taking a break out and just looking at why things are getting you a bit worked up. Breathe a bit, maybe. Just take your mind away from what it is and think about what you want to achieve, and actually kind of have a step back from what it is that's making you feel that way, and look at what you've achieved and how your sort of journey's going, rather than basing it on what other people are achieving.
That's it. I mean, it's a journey you're on, right? And I think when we look at these things, especially at this time, they may have dropped, the stone, the whatever, and it may only have been 4 weeks they've been on this diet, but then, are they then dropping another stone in another 4 weeks and another 4 weeks? No, we know they're not. They're not. We're all into that understanding that this is something that they're hugely celebrating. And you may be training hard and eating well, but maybe reducing like a pound or 2 pounds a week, and that's actually really a really good bit of progress, right? And hugely beneficial to your body in doing it in a way that it gets to understand that by feeding it the right foods and stuff, it can still feel energized. You can do more because you're training now regularly. You're definitely probably changing shape in a great way, and long term you're going to change shape in a better way. So you are going to be toned. You're going to be feeling much fitter, stronger, look healthier, rather than being that sort of like, you've heard people say it's sort of like skinny fat, like, right? And it's like, we know it's not shapely, and it doesn't look, like the ideal body that you want to potentially look like, but
it's just not. You've got, obviously, you understand that everyone's different as well, and just because someone is a certain shape doesn't mean that you're going to be able to get that shape. Does that make sense? So
yeah, like you're more DeVito, as we discussed earlier, and I'm more Arnie.
So like I'm a pear. You're more like a slice of pizza standing up on a V.
Mate, come on, that's like a double compliment. I'm tasty and fat, greasy.
Fattening and greasy.
Oh God, but pizza's nice. What am I going to say?
Yeah, a bit diverse that one.
Yeah, stay out of the way of pizza.
But the whole thing about I want to look like her or whatever it may be, or he's got a great sort of shape body. Yeah, but genetics says you're never going to be exactly like that. However, you can be the best version of what you can be if you just focus on what you want to achieve, and because you're basing it, comparing yourself to someone else, that's where potentially you go wrong straight away.
Being the best person you can be, I think that's huge. Like, right?
Be the best version you can be of yourself. If you can't do that in your lifetime, then what are you actually going to try and achieve? You've got to be. Everyone wants to be the best version of themselves. Surely they want to be personally developing through learning things and trying to be as physically fit and healthy as you can, spending the best quality time with their loved ones. No, am I just the only one?
No, definitely. No, we're both here, but I'm no, 100%. No, I think that's dead right. I think that's got to be, surely. I mean, why would you want to be anything less than the best you can be? Like, what, because it's easier to be less?
Well, because I think everyone nowadays, that's a generalised term, I know, but we always look for the quick fix because it's instant, it's there.
Yeah.
But
so, not being funny, right?
Quick fix never gets you the long-term results, really.
And let's be honest, like, it's kind of lazy. If you're really honest with yourself, it's lazy to go for a quick fix, right?
It's the person wanting to win the lottery because they can't be bothered to try and learn more or get a better job or whatever it may be to get more income. They'd rather just spend money on a lottery ticket every week, just hoping that they're going to get that ticket out of the situation they're in, rather than working hard to graft out of that.
And I think that with your nutrition, your food, and your stuff like that, we've got. I mean, the lottery thing. You say it'd be amazing. Like if there was something that like you got an instant injection of something, right? But as you see, you've nurtured or got anything habitual, no habits that have created that sort of wealth that you can then sustain long term. So as you say, you drop your weight real quick, but you've not learned how you've done it. The majority of the time, you kind of just eat whatever the so-called diet says, and not really understand why that the body works like that. And then, not being funny, you don't take anything away from that. Then you put the weight back on, and then you're like, God, I've got to lose this weight again. And right, actually, am I gonna just drop down real fast again? You probably don't even understand why, in that sense, that the body has dropped weight. You're just kind of like, I don't even need to know. I'm just happy with the weight being dropped. But actually, from long-term perspective, it's just not, it isn't sustainable. It's not beneficial. And if you could do it on a slower pace, so you might be in a situation now, especially at this time, you've done like 4 weeks. Now, anyone who's listening that's done a diet, 4 weeks is like 2 years, right? It's like a 4 week, 2 year ratio kind of thing on like feelings. Like,
yeah, it's terrible.
Especially, coming after Christmas, you've like massively indulged on really enjoyable, hyper palatable foods as such, and probably it's not something you should be doing on a daily basis for sure, right? But
the key being is transitioning now from a strict phase to something that can be sustainable but still healthy, and actually have some indulgences in there which don't take you off track.
And how would you do that? I'm quite all or nothing sort of thing. So what?
So if you had a pack of hobnobs in the cupboard, you'd get a lot cleaned out just so that they're not there.
100%.
Clean them out down your throat.
Definitely. There's no way I'm throwing anything away, right? I mean, if I've had 2 hobnobs, I've never had 2 hobnobs if there's 10 there, right? I get that, what I call it, excuse my French, the fucking syndrome. Like, I'm kind of in. Once I'm there, I'm there.
That's ruined now for iTunes. Got that little explicit.
Beep. You can edit this, right?
I won't. I don't know. I think you've ruined us now to it.
Well,
anyway, carry on.
I'm going to carry on. So, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I've done it. Like, I'm like, right, I've had a bite. I've had 2 biscuits. I'm in. It's game over, right?
All in.
But it's not, right? How many times? That's so silly. Like, if I had 1 or 2 hobnobs and stopped there, obviously that is a lot less calories than having 10 or 12. But why do I get into that point of going, right? But same on the opposite spectrum. Like, so if I'm dieting, I'm massively on it. Like, I can just not touch anything, right? But so for someone like me, how do we gradually get out of that? Like, what would your best bit of advice be for that?
For someone trying to get out of going all in.
Yeah, like, so I'm all in, right? I'm all in. I'm eating cleaner than clean.
Mostly, from experience, is people clear out the cupboards of stuff.
Have a clear out.
And literally just bin it all, or not buy it once it's gone. It's gone, and then crave it so badly that they'll just snap one day, or then they'll go full circle, go the wrong way, and obviously they start binging on stuff, and then right, that's it, diet over. So it's a hard one because it's your mindset around why you want to have a look at why that biscuit, for instance, is so enjoyable.
Yeah. So it's like your history, finishing everything on your plate. I think it's that sort of mindset, right? So, like, so we've got to almost create habits again, So we're trying to break old habits and create new habits. So it's almost like, do you know what? In fact, and you may sound like it's wasteful, but it's not. It's to say like we make up a food, for instance, and I'm going to go, right, I'm going to eat this plate, and I'm going to actually leave half or quarter of it, okay? And I'm going to have that then tomorrow as one of my snacks, for instance, or meals, or whatever. But it's just that thought of I'm actually leaving that little bit of food. Like, that is such a hard task.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can do that and start to build a habit, then that's great. But I would never learn that from a fad diet, right? So maybe...
You never learn it as well from... You never get the habits ingrained by just following a meal plan that someone's written for you, or it's generic.
Yeah.
So although people come to us saying, "Oh, yeah, can we have a meal plan? What's the meal plan for this, that, and the other?" For our programs, we actually try and get them to learn how to put something together for themselves, so then they can go ahead and do that without having to rely on a written plan. Because what happens if they get bored of something that we've written? And then they go, well, I don't know what else I can eat now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I can't... I knew I was all right with this stir-fry that we've discussed before, but I don't want to eat stir-fry again now, but I don't have a clue, because they don't know that or understand, say, like, the rules around it. And I know rules, scary. There's rules. There shouldn't be rules around food. Well, I personally, and you may definitely argue against this, I don't know, but I kind of feel like, all right, rules or guides or whatever you want to call them have to be there. Like, if we didn't have any, like, we'd just absolutely boot it down the motorway. And yeah, there's probably going to be a high accident rate, or, we can just, do whatever. Like, if there's no rules on anything, there has to be some kind of guides, right? Because otherwise, imagine bringing Henry up now, yeah? And just don't give him rules. Like, he will carry on biting people. You're going to have, like, Henry...
Luckily, he's never bitten anyone yet, but, yeah.
Is he not? I was a right little biter when I was younger.
No, doesn't really bite at all.
No?
No.
Oh, maybe it's just me then.
He'll kind of just try and slap me in the face and,
Yeah, so you don't tell him anything.
He's like... his hair, but we say,
So there's no rules, so he's just slapping people. He's now 6 foot.
Then he's pinching, biting, kicking. That's what would progress from that to...
Yeah, because there's no rules, right? So we can just do whatever. But if we say there's some sort of rule around food, it's like, don't give me rules, man. I want to be my own man. I'm going to eat whatever I want. And that doesn't work. We know it doesn't work because there is, like, put a kid in a sweet shop and there's no rules. How's that going to go?
Bouncing off the wall, won't it?
Yeah,
it's so much sugar.
Do it for a week.
Right.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be sick. They're going to be so ill. But they've not got any understanding because there's no rules around it, right? So, like, we all do it, like, with everything we do when we bring, but we almost, as adults, feel like...
We kind of bend the rules, so over time as well, the rules become stretched. The plates become bigger, portion sizes. It's like, well, I'll just have a bit more. Doesn't matter, does it? Kind of thing. When it really does.
Yeah.
And the rules change in that you're like, I shouldn't really eat that, but I had that the other day, so might as well have that. So I'm not going to do too much harm.
And I think that if we can start to, like we do with the guys, in our 10-week program, educate them slowly, sort of thing, drip feed things in, giving some sort of guidance and guidelines that, you can really find huge benefits from it, and you're not having to do it all at once.
Yeah.
So it's easy to implement it as you go along, right? And that's it. And you start to build them as habits, like putting toothpaste on your toothbrush. You don't think about that. It just happens every time you go to clean your teeth because you know you got to do it and you know it's going to benefit you. So that's how we want to be with some of the food things, it just gets ingrained. It's just a natural thing to do. And then it doesn't feel like it's a stress as well, because I think that's a big thing that we stress about foods, and that's like studies have been shown. We'll have to find the link and we'll add it in, but that you and I could sit down and eat the same meal, and if you're in a state of stress, your body hormonally is going to deal with that food differently to me, who sat there with a grin on my face, So I know that
it makes sense.
It's like fight or flight. You've heard that a million times, right? So if you're stressed and you're under pressure, is your body thinking about digestion, or is it thinking about getting the hell away from that lion that's chasing you? It might not be a lion chasing you. Okay, you did a say.
Where are we in the
Sahara? Sahara.
Well, some desert.
Is that where lions are?
Africa or...
I mean, I was thinking more of South Africa or something like that.
On the zoo, just escaped.
London Zoo.
Yeah.
You're there. And
lion.
There is.
I'm trying to eat KFC from last episode.
Your KFC that's come back again. I'm starting to think that you do eat KFC now. Rogue lines, beakless chickens. They may be in the zoo soon. That's the thing. It's gonna be one of those weird zoos, made up of actually. These are the foods that we eat. Zoo. That'd be mega weird. Anyway, but where we were at is that being under stress, your body's not thinking about digesting the food properly, and you get into such a hang up, and every time you go to eat, it's a pressure, it's a stress. Your body's constantly, your stomach's not digesting properly. You've had it before, people's bowels when stressed go into chaos. How many people have dealt with IBS, going to all sorts of different,
ulcers, stomach ulcers, and all sorts that can be generated by stressful situations that,
and they can be put on by yourself, right? I mean, they're not actually technically real stresses. The fact that you've got food in front of you means you're quite fortunate, right? Yeah. There's people out there who don't have that, and they wouldn't, but you're stressing about it. So I think we need to start to relax around food, have guidelines, have rules, feel more relaxed.
Just have a little bit of knowledge about what you need to eat for your body and your goals.
Right, because going on Instagram and following, say, Sandra, who's now eating her quinoa, bulgur wheats, the Eden bean salad sprinkled with flax seeds and cooked in coconut oil. Alright, that's fine, right? But we don't know what she's trying to achieve. We know what we're trying to achieve, and actually we may not have to go to that extent, right? We could eat whole foods that you've always eaten. It might be rices, it may be salads, it may be chicken, it may be fish, and you can still probably get great results, if not better results, because you're sticking to what you know and you're going to enjoy it, right?
Yeah, just knowing about how much you need to eat of a certain thing, and if you do have an indulgence, then knowing that you shouldn't really eat as much the next day, perhaps. So I had a bit of a meal out, maybe had a dessert, perhaps I either do a bit more exercise or just maybe a little less tomorrow, maybe cut out something from your meals tomorrow. So you're actually offsetting that, and as an average across a week, you're actually in a calorie deficit, which means you potentially will be dropping some weight rather than having that dessert on, say, a Saturday and thinking, well, that's it, it's ruined now, I'll just eat whatever Sunday, and then trying to get back on track Monday, but actually by the end of the week you're either over calories or whatever, you don't even know how much you've eaten. So it's about having that knowledge of, and restraint, I guess, comes into it, of trying to, I've had a bit of a slip up, or I've enjoyed that dessert, let's now get back on track, that's gone. Once the fork's down, that's it, that meal, that cheat is over.
wiping the slate. I mean, and that's the thing, isn't it? If you've got the power to go, yeah, all right, I've had a little bit of indulgence, and what? You know, I know enough about my food to, as you say, potentially go into a little bit of a calorie deficit for the next couple of days to make up for that, which may just mean dropping, a couple, maybe 100 calories here and there over the next couple of days, which is really easily done if you know what's in your foods and stuff. But if you're following some cookie cutter program and then you've all of a sudden chucked in a chocolate fudge cake and you're like, I don't know how to, adjust that because you're following the program. Oh, I can't follow the program. I've ruined it all. Yeah. It just gets into that stress feel. So I think a big take home is, for me, would be enjoy food, have some sort of guidelines around it so that you can enjoy it, but yet not,
not to the extremes that take you to a fatty type thing.
Yeah, or having some sort of end up with some sort of food disorder. B, understand and educate yourself. Right? Don't just buy into the quick fix diet that's fashionable, because somebody who looks good's telling you what's going on, right? And what to do. Just because they're on an advert and they got a six-pack or they got, a bum like Kardashian or whatever, that's exactly how you need to eat, right? The guy with six packs and a bum like Kardashian, though, maybe I'd follow his plan. Like, I think I get some. To be honest, I'm pretty sure. I don't want to big myself up here, but I've got Kim. I'm not far off Kim K.
Yeah.
I've got booty. I've got back, and that's. Maybe I'm going to release a program. Maybe I'll release a program from behind, without my head in it, as like a lady booty building program, and then all of a sudden it comes up, and then you got this mug on the top.
You see that advert for whatever it is, Compare Heels or whatever, where the fella's strutting around in
Hey, I'm worth it. He says I'm worth it. That one.
Yeah, the guy in the jean shorts, and then
that was you.
Now you got the builders as well doing their strut. What's that for?
That was what I just said. That's what I just sang.
Okay, yeah.
That was the advert.
So that's going to be your next program.
Anyway, so and then go back to Sandra on Insta, right? Don't let her affect you. You are probably being the best you can be, which we think is a great thing. Yeah, you are probably doing amazing things, getting huge. Remember, if you're dropping a pound or 2 pounds a week, that's fantastic. Remember that, okay? And you don't need to do anything different. Keep on that track. Like, how many times do you go into like thinking that I could be doing better because somebody else is losing more? Well, you know what?
You always want to lose it faster, more.
Yeah.
More, but just a good steady progress of, like I say, like a pound or 2 a week is great progress.
Just think, doing that over 10 weeks, that's 20 pounds.
We know that sometimes it'll go up, sometimes it'll stay still, plateau, but over time, if the progress is generally, for weight loss, if you're looking to lose weight and it's on the decline, then why not? You're doing something right, so why not just stick with what you're doing?
And hopefully
in a year's time, you'll be a hell of a lot lighter.
Yeah, and it's not making you miserable, and you're actually able to live a life and not be that social hermit, as we said earlier. You can do that because you understand food. You know that you can plan as you go out. You're going out to, I don't know, a favourite restaurant, I won't drop names in there, and you can go, do you know what, I know I'm going to have this meal tonight, which has probably got more calories than normal, so how do I deal with that? Well, I know how to deal with it because you've educated yourself, and you're not just gone, oh no, that's not in my diet plan, game over. So
once you get that light bulb moment of knowing what your body can deal with as a maintenance level, calories for instance, and then knowing that actually how to change your body for weight loss would be to drop it by this much and actually have a week's eating of food you enjoy and still make progress. That's quite a big breakthrough really in your journey.
And as you said earlier, like, if you're not calorie counting, but just knowing what portion sizes roughly, are good, and that you've got an understanding of what you've done on a regular basis, and that's still making you progressively lose weight, but you're getting sufficient protein, some good, phytonutrients, you're getting your minerals, your vitamins and stuff like that, and you're feeling healthy, you're feeling good, your gut's in good health, then fantastic. You can do that, and you don't have to be ultra stressed all the time. It just becomes, as I say, a habit, potentially second nature, low stress, and you're going to get huge changes. So I reckon there's some pretty good take-home points for today. I'll leave it at that for your mindset. Just remember, you're on your own journey. Don't worry about anyone else. Rob has been called Danny DeVito today, a chuckle brother. But you're going to move on, right? You're not going to let it affect you. Is that...
Well, yeah, I might go and just devour a whole cheesecake just to cry myself to sleep.
Because that is a guarantee to make you look less like DeVito.
Maybe I'll just go down that route.
Maybe. Do you know what? It's one of those things, you've got choices. Everyone's got choices. I'm just going to stick with looking like a honey.
Jason Statham, I'll go with that.
Oh, he loves it. Right. Speak to you soon. Tough Talk out. Peace.